Yeah, we're really excited. The players are thrilled, to continue the season. It's you look at the tournament in the field, that's in it. There's some really good teams, throughout the bracket, and we feel really fortunate to be able to play another game in the Spectrum. I called Justin right after the announcement happened, and he was obviously over the moon and ecstatic about being able to play another game and in another tournament. And we realized we're playing a great team in Oregon, a team that's had some really big wins, in a tough conference that they're playing in, and beyond that as well. They're really well coached, and we're just excited that we're able to play in front of the Aggie fans again.
All right. Questions from the group. Scotty, you want to start that off?
Yeah. What's the range of emotions like when you go from after a loss, not knowing if you're going to play at all and thinking your season may be done, and then all of a sudden you have a home game and you're playing a Pac-12 team at your own place? I mean, what are those range of emotions like in the last 72 hours?
Yeah, gosh, it kind of runs the whole gamut, right? Really sad when it ends, when that it's not going to be an option for your team to play, or for our team to play in the NCAA tournament. And you don't know if you're going to be able to suit up again, together. There's some great guys in our locker room. Obviously Justin and Brock, Brandon, kind of the older guys, leaders of the team. And standing up on that, or sitting up there on that stage after the game, it kind of hit me, talking about Justin there for a little bit, and then trying to figure out, okay, so in terms of practice and stuff like that, what should the schedule be for the next couple of days, and because there's some uncertainty surrounding, will we play again? And we ended up getting in the gym today. We practiced, right around the selection show. And it was just a light, shoot and exercise for the guys, and spent some time together. And we didn't watch the show together. We all kind of went our separate ways. But the players have their own group chat, and then we have an overall group chat, amongst the whole, entire program, staff and players. And, to a man, just everybody's ecstatic about, continuing the season and being able to compete with one another, for sure, one more time.
Coach R.J. Salveson, congratulations on the NIT bid. I want to ask you about the respect that the committee has for you, that you finished 7th in your conference, but yet you are the 4th seed hosting Oregon at your place on Tuesday night. That's got to mean a lot to you, and what the kind of schedule you guys put together through the non-conference, and especially how tough the Mountain West Conference was.
Yeah, no question. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Our conference is one of the best in the country, and extremely well respected. And we were excited. I texted with each of the coaches that made the NCAA tournament and congratulated one of them, for a really successful season. And each one of them responded and said how tough it was, overall, just the conference in general, just every night. And you think about Boise, who ended up winning the whole thing, and how many tight games they had to work their way through, over the course of that conference season. And then had to do it again in the conference tournament, to be able to cut those nets down. It was just, they had an amazing season. And there were so many close ones. That the quarterfinal games were incredible. And, I think, for us, we're just happy to be playing, without a doubt. And it's like icing on the cake to be able to play one more time in the Spectrum. And I know the Aggie faithful will be in that gym, on Tuesday night, and excited. I know our players are going to do their best to, play their best together.
Coach, can I ask you a couple things? One is, we can't get Oregon usually to come to Logan to play us. They normally won't come to Logan. So there's the big deal. Could you react to that? And then also, they were a team, obviously, that everybody in the country starting the season thought was a top 10 basketball team.
Yeah.
And something happened to them during the season, obviously, with not winning as many as they thought. Probably they got to have a guy or two who made that run last year on their team. So they still got to be dang good.
Yeah, I mean, they're a really talented team for sure. One of their best players, if not their best player, hasn't played in the last 3 games. Missed a few there. And then, I think they started out slow, this past season, and then they really hit their stride in the middle of it. And at the end, as can happen in really tough conferences, you lose a few, down the stretch. I mean, we certainly experienced that ourselves this year. It doesn't mean you're a bad basketball team. It means that you're facing some really good teams, and it hadn't gone your way. And they're a very fast team. Our staff is here at my house right now, just kind of working through it, and so I can't really give you everything just yet in terms of game plan and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to familiarize ourselves, with them as best we can. But anytime you're playing a Dana Altman coach team, you're in for a battle. They're going to keep you off balance with their defenses. Offensively, they're going to be extremely efficient, and they're going to have size and athleticism and quickness. And we know we're going to be facing that, on Tuesday night, and have to deal with that on Tuesday night. But we've got some really good teams in our league that hopefully have prepped us for it, and we're excited and about the challenge. And to your last point about Power 5 teams coming to Logan. Yeah, this is a tremendous opportunity for us because it doesn't happen that often. And we certainly want to schedule, these types of games. But as a lot of times our best chance to play these folks, is on a neutral site like we did in Myrtle Beach. And we'll have certainly some more opportunities next year to do that as well. But, we would welcome any team that wants to come to Logan, and certainly we would want to return that game to them, as well.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Just wanted to ask you: were you able to watch? You said the team didn't watch it. Did you watch the NIT show?
Oh yeah. My wife. It was just Lucy and I sitting in the living room watching it together. And they used to do it back in the day. They would do it where, you would know before the bracket was revealed.
Right.
You would be alerted. They'd call John Hartwell and say, "Hey, you're in, and you're the seed or whatever. You're playing, whatever." Now it's because it's run by the NCAA now, it's very similar to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
They're in the same room pretty much, adjacent room picking the teams. And, we've talked about it all year, and Scotty G and I've talked about it on the radio show a ton. Like, our metrics are our metrics. The numbers are the numbers. Like our team, has scheduled well, and performed well against good teams. We just haven't beaten enough of those good teams. Had we beaten some of those teams that we played, maybe we would have been, in the NCAA tournament. And it's a tough pill to swallow. But once I was a little nervous because it got all the way down to the end. And
that's what I was going to ask you.
There hadn't been one Mountain West tournament or Mountain West team, mentioned yet or called yet. And so I was a little bit nervous, and then it ended up happening, obviously. And so it was a big, celebration in the Odom household. I'm so happy. I really am. I'm so happy for our players, because they genuinely want to play again. And who knows how the game's going to go. I'm not really concerned about that. I mean, we're going to do our best, obviously, and we want to win. But I'm so happy that they get a chance to play in a postseason. They deserve it. They've been through a lot all season, and they've had their fair share of hard breaks and tough losses and weird situations that we all know. And they've never let it, bother them. They've just always come back with a great attitude. And I'm really happy, most importantly, for, our players.
Coach, last season, Boise State, Colorado State, Memphis, teams that are in the tournament this year, kind of use this NIT to springboard into that for the next season. Can you talk about how that can be an opportunity for you guys?
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's anytime you can play in postseason play, you're playing in a tournament. If the tournament is happening, it's worth going for it to try to win it. It doesn't matter what tournament it is. And the NIT is a storied tournament. I think, Kyle, you'll have to correct me, but I think this is the first time since 2008. Is that what it is? That Utah State's be a part of the tournament. And to have a home game is really special, for us. And yes, I think it can springboard you on to better things, in the coming years, as long as you use it the right way. Certainly is disappointment that we didn't, reach our goals of making the NCAA tournament and having a go at that. But this is a really good opportunity for our program. And, you got to remember, we lost some really good players over the last couple of years, lost a coach and had to, retool this thing. And, for us to, be where we're at right now is, a positive. And we certainly want to use it that way. I know it's certainly been good to the Odoms. My father has coached in it a number of times, and he actually won it 3 times. He won it once at Wake Forest and twice at South Carolina. And, one year that they won it, his team beat Florida, who was the national champion. He beat them twice in the regular season and lost to them in the championship of the SEC tournament by 2. And then they didn't make it. So it's similar to Texas A&M. Texas A&M made it all the way to the final of the SEC tournament, and, are right there and end up, in the NIT. And it's all about how you approach it. And, I know our guys will approach it like they have every other game that they played this year, and that's to try to win.
Hey, Coach, I just want to
Coach is
clarify.
correct. The last time we were in the NIT was 2008. Last time we hosted an NIT game was 2004. Ajay,
Cool.
your question?
Tail, or at least on to Sean's question, did you not know at all or have any inkling that you guys would be in the NIT until you saw your name pop up on the TV screen?
No, I had no idea. Yeah. So, I mean, just when you saw it was when I saw it. And, we were hopeful, you go and you look at the numbers, and I followed them, probably too much, over the course of the last few days. And, our Ken Palm was at 44, I think, at the very end. And, the net was at 60. And, if you're going to have those numbers, they got to mean something, right? And our conference ranking, is really strong. I was disappointed that others didn't get in, but, from our conference, I mean, I thought UNLV, I thought Fresno State, both well deserving, of an NIT berth. But, they've cut it down now. You only have 32 spots, and, we have 4 in the NCAA tournament and 1 in the NIT, and we're fortunate to be that one. And we're going to do our best to represent, the Mountain West, the right way.
Coach Jake Nielsen, let me ask you, last time that Utah State won in the NIT was when Jeff and Sean were in high school back in 1960. And
Ow.
I mean, did we just go at you right there?
I had that one in my back pocket, but
I think I'm the only one who was in high school then.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
But is there a sense of urgency, Coach? Just the team hasn't won since 1960. Like, winning postseason games, just that doesn't come all the often. So even though it isn't the tournament, like, is that some urgency you're going to tell your players, like, hey, like, this is important?
Yeah, no question. I mean, my dad always had a saying, and I've always used it. You're not in the tournament until you win one. And that's certainly how we're going to approach this thing. We got to go, and we want to compete to win. And I think I think it's how our guys have approached every game that we've played. And I know we've had some hard losses, and some tough times in that locker room after games, but we've also had some pretty cool moments. And winning that tournament down in Myrtle Beach, I mean, that was special. I mean, the hugs and the feeling that our guys had, after that game was really special. You can't buy that. And it's certainly an opportunity. I've been to games, in the Garden in the NIT, and I can remember Dad was holding Connor as a little kid after he won. His crazy curly hair. You can find a picture of that. on that main court. And so it is special. We talked to our team about that today, and not knowing whether we would get in or not. And I know there's a lot of work to be done for all the teams, to even make it to New York City. But, it's a special experience, to do that and be a part of that. And so that's what we're chasing. And it's one game at a time. And, hopefully we play well in the first game, and we'll see what happens from there.
Coach, from a health standpoint, I mean, it seems like you're the healthiest you've been all year, but Steven had that injury, missed the San Jose game. You said it might turn into something a little bit more a little down the road. Between him and Brock, is there any reason we shouldn't expect those two to go Tuesday night?
Yeah, I mean, they both are good. I mean, they both practiced today, so they're both in good shape right now, and excited about the opportunity to play. And this probably is the healthiest we've been, and we're looking forward to it. So,
Coach, what do the next 48 hours look like for you in terms of practice and preparation for this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 1 day prep, right? So we have, tomorrow, same for Oregon. They're going to have to get on a plane and fly all the way here and get situated, and there's a lot of preparation that goes along with that. And thankfully, we're not having to do that, in terms of the travel aspect of it. And so our guys will have normal class tomorrow. We start back, with school, and we'll practice at 3. And we'll have film ready for them. And that's kind of what we're doing right now as a staff, kind of getting that ready. And, that takes a bit of time and to kind of really go through it and put the game plan together. And so we really got to, because it's not a team that we played, right? This is not Air Force we're playing or Colorado State that we played twice already. This is a brand new opponent that we have to prep for really quickly and figure out, how we're best going to have success against them. And so, my coaches are sitting in my house right now here and going through it. And so it's pretty cool. It's fun stuff. That's what you do in the NCAA tournament too, right? You figure it out eventually. Like, I was talking to my friend who's coaching Longwood that worked for us at UMBC, and he's busy with his staff right now working on Tennessee, getting ready. And so it's a cool time of year. It's what March is all about.
Anything else for Coach? Maybe one more if anybody's got them.